Drop an email.
Drop him a line, yeah, exactly, from the two of us, from our joint email account that we have. Yeah.
What is that joint email account? Please share.
It's very simple. It's Brian and Domhnall Gleeson at gmail.com. It's, you know what I mean? Like, it's very simple.
Welcome to Couch Surfing, the show where gleeful guests look back at their big roles, their little roles, and everything in between. I'm here social distancing with not one, but two of the stars of the new Amazon series, Frank of Ireland, and they just so happen to be brothers. Brian and Domhnall Gleeson, how you guys doing?
Hi.
Hey, very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm great. You know, we thought we'd take a look at highlights from both of your fabulous careers, and hopefully you'll each give us some brotherly love. Are you guys ready to surf?
Ready to surf.
Ready to do it. Ready to go.
All right. All right, lads, let's do this.
Don't you be getting ratty with me.
Yeah, well, don't you be getting ratty with me.
And this first question is for the both of you. Your father is the illustrious actor Brendan Gleeson. When did you both decide to follow in his thespian footsteps?
I kind of wanted to be a writer and director originally, when I was late teens. And then it was actually reading a play by the writer of this short film and director of this short film, Martin McDonagh, that made me really, really, really want to be an actor. It was the funniest thing ever. And so that got me started. So I would say I was about 18, 19 by the time I really thought about it seriously. And he's still like one of my absolute favourites in the world. I think he's amazing.
Just to say, there's David Wilmot, and I think he played your brother in a show, and he played my brother in a show. So I feel like he's from the same gene pool.
Yeah, he's basically a Gleeson, David Wilmot.
Yeah.
If Wilmot wants to be a Gleeson, he's allowed to be a Gleeson. He's amazing.
He's allowed to be a Gleeson. I mean, Domhnall, you mentioned it earlier, but this film not only won an Oscar, but it also solidified your relationship with the great playwright Martin McDonagh. What was your biggest takeaway from working with him?
I mean, I was so young, so that was one of my first filming experiences, and doing the play with him was my first acting experience, really. And he has a great sense of fun, but an uncompromising nature. He's also a genius. So I think the lesson I learned was, if you can be a genius, be a genius. Then I found out that I can't be a genius. And so failing that, work hard, have fun, and be uncompromising, I think are some of the main takeaways from Martin.
And you hang out with geniuses, and maybe through osmosis, you too then can become a genius eventually.
Spend as much time with geniuses as possible. That's the idea, yeah.
Brian, really quickly, what did you make of your brother's turn in this short?
I just think he looks the exact same age, which I know it's about 15 years ago, was it?
I think it might be longer. Because I think it came out in 2000 and so 2000 and 2000 and no, yeah, I think 2004, 2005 we made it. Yeah.
Okay, Brian, you're up next.
Did you see the paper, did you?
Don't mind that in the paper, Shuey. That's just coppers.
So, Brian, this is a who's who of Irish actors. Did you feel like you'd arrived when you landed this gig?
I felt amazing reading the scripts and then getting it. Yeah, I think I was about 21, 22, and I'd been acting for a few years, and I hadn't really done a huge amount, and this is just... I remember auditioning for it, and it was one of those shows that a lot of people wanted to be involved in, so it was very exciting. It was very exciting to get kind of writing like that, and I think that was kind of borne out by the fact that I went on to have 5 seasons. It turned into this really successful show in Ireland, so even at that stage we kind of knew that the quality was great.
Okay, so spoiler alert, you mentioned 5 seasons. Your character obviously didn't make it to the end. Sorry.
5 seasons for everyone else.
But did you know walking into this project that your character would be doomed?
Yeah, and there was a lot of actors my age at the time, and we'd go for coffee and we'd talk about how amazing the scripts were, and what a great project it was being involved in. I just never thought, well, Brian, this could continue without you, because you clearly, don't last very long. So maybe I was just in denial. Maybe that's what it was. But it was certainly exciting. I remember being very excited by it.
Domhnall, I have to have you chime in here. What did you make of your bro's performance?
Absolutely amazing. It was so unlike anything that I had seen on Irish television before. Stuart Carolyn, who sort of wrote it and kind of, came up with the whole thing. It was just felt like a new version I don't know, like a kind of a new period of Irish TV, I think, was sort of kicked off by it. There was a confidence, an uncompromising nature, that word again, about the whole thing. And I remember just being struck by the power of Brian in it. He's quite psychopathic in moments in it, and quite empathetic, even though he's such a kind of he's a terrible person in loads of ways, right? Brian, like the character, does lots of awful things, but then feeling really empathetic towards him. And I remember being just struck by what a difficult balancing act that would be. I was blown away. And there's just a power on screen that I find quite aspirational. Amazing stuff.
At all close to who he is in real life, or was this a real stretch for him as an actor?
I'll take this one, Brian. I think it was exactly the same. I think
like
it was
that
Welcome back to Couch Surfing. I'm still here with Domhnall and Brian Gleeson. Guys, shall we continue?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Jump.
What? Over there? I never expressed suicide.
I should start crying at my own work.
You should.
I should finish watching it full of tears. Oh my God, I'm amazing.
You should. You are a genius. You hang out with Mr. McDonough. Hello. Did you expect it to find this large an audience across the pond?
No, it was actually Brian who first told me about Black Mirror. I had sort of heard about it, and I'd heard about the first episode, which is a very famous episode back home, in which the Prime Minister has to have sex with a pig. And that had caused a splash. And I love Charlie Brooker, but I was almost
I wonder why.
Yeah, I know, but it almost turned me off. It seemed like I was like, I'm not sure I want to watch that, and I don't watch a lot of TV, so I hadn't really. And Brian said, no, you need to watch it, and he particularly said the entire history of you out of that season had affected him. So I watched it based on his recommendation.
I think your episode and. Yeah, I was about to say it has the human angle, but actually it doesn't really, because you're... I don't want to give the game away, but... No, but when it's about the kind of emotion of it, I think that episode, the one that Jesse Armstrong wrote, I'm not sure if Sam Bader wrote it as well, but where it's really about the kind of the human angle in it or something. So I loved it. I thought that episode was really great. Just very, very moving, really, really moving.
Brian, you make a really good point, because this episode is widely regarded as one of the best episodes in Black Mirror history. And a lot of viewers, though, had very strong opinions about the ending. How did you feel about it? Because this was quite controversial.
The ending is that she basically, he doesn't jump, and she kind of keeps him upstairs, right?
Yeah.
In the attic. So it was... whether it was happy or sad, and her daughter's going up to visit him and stuff like that. So it was whether it was happy or sad, I suppose, is the question. But I was always okay with not knowing which it was. I think that those moments where you feel something but you're not exactly sure what it is, those are the, I think that those can be some of the most powerful moments.
All right, let's keep surfing. Domhnall, this scene looks like so much fun. I mean, was it planned in this script, or was this windstorm a happy accident?
They had huge fans. My biggest fan, haha. They had huge fans there doing all this stuff. But I'm always struck by the fact it looks like I'm trying to smother Rachel McAdams with that red veil. It looks like I'm trying to kill her. I remember saying to Richard, I don't think we should keep that bit in. I think that looks incredibly violent. And he was like, no, it's fine. People understand that you're trying to save her. But it was it was a hilarious day, because we all knew that we were going to get absolutely soaking and absolutely battered. And that was sort of part of the fun of it. The shoot was actually one of the most fun shoots I've ever had in my life. You know what I mean? What
made
sunny.
It so special?
It was sunny. It was sunny, and it was the job was about love, and it was just wonderful. So yeah, it was and the people, Richard Curtis, Emma Freud, obviously Rachel McAdams, Bill Nighy, all these just amazing people. This
is obviously an epic romance, and you've appeared in other romantic films. Anna Karenina comes to mind. I mean, was this a genre that you'd always been interested in exploring?
No. I don't think so. I don't think I was I would love to do a romantic comedy, and I was surprised when they showed any interest at all, to be honest with you. I like romantic comedies very much, and I like Richard's romantic comedies. I love Notting Hill. But I'd never really considered myself a suitable candidate. So I was delighted to do it, and it seems to be one of the things that people stuck with people, strangely, you know,
Definitely.
which has been nice.
Yeah. There's a scene where it flashes back and it's Bill Nye walking along with kind of a younger version of Donald's character, and I remember our dad watching it going, "That's not fair," because that's not fair. He's got the bright red hair just like Donald, you know, just like Donald had at that age. So he was kind of really moved by it, you know. He's like, "It's not fair. It's not fair."
You can't help us.
We're living with the Lord now.
I mean, Brian, you're nailing the Southern accent. How did you go about developing the sound of your character?
We worked with a great dialect coach, and we just had a lot of fun, kind of staying in the voice, and the dialogue was so much fun that you just kind of you end up saying the lines to each other, just having fun on set, you know. And we shot it in the South, you know. We were in Atlanta and stuff like that, so it was a lot of fun. Yeah.
I mean, this film has a great ensemble cast, and Steven Soderbergh came out of retirement to direct, and you also got to star alongside Magic Mike and James Bond. Is that why you said yes to this project?
Well, I've a really cool jacket upstairs that I got from Daniel Craig when I rapped, that says, you know, to Brian from Daniel, and the from is spelled wrong. It's spelled with like a U or whatever. So I'll cherish that. But Steven Soderbergh famously he's very easy to work with because he knows exactly what he wants. So sometimes you finish the day early. And I remember myself and Jack Quaid, who plays my brother, were kind of wondering, geez, you know, are we doing enough here? Should we be pushing the comedy? Because he doesn't give that many notes. He kind of just expects it to show up good to go. And so I went over to him one day and I suggested, you know, when this explosion happens, I want to be funny if I'm like eating like a pastry or something. And he looked at me like I had two heads. He was like, no, absolutely not. Don't dream of doing that. You were doing fine. So that's where I knew where the limit was. Just do your thing, show up and do your thing. But it was God, we were finishing, you know, early, and he's always editing in his head as he goes, and he edits his own movies, so it makes for a very easy sort of experience shooting them.
Domhnall, your Star Wars co-star Adam Driver is in this scene. Did you give Brian any tips on working with Adam Driver? No, the only tip I had was work with Adam Driver if you can. He's so amazing. Yeah. Like he's so fantastic. But no, I like that whole film I absolutely loved, and like I don't know, again, just a totally different version of Brian, and you know, like I think just seeing everybody in that film was having such fun exploring this mad world that Soderbergh had created. Like you can just see people, you can kind of feel the joy of, you know, of the performance in the film itself. And I thought everybody was fantastic, and Brian was just wonderful as always. Yeah. All right, up next.
Yeah. Ran straight to mom.
What's wrong with her?
Where's Dad? Where is he? Who's she? Who are you?
So how did you both come to be part of this project?
From what I understand, Donald, you had met Darren just, you know, in a meeting. I think they were both fans of each other, and they had a discussion, and I think Donald was attached to it basically. Then I just kind of popped up and said, listen, you take me along too. I look a little bit like him, we're meant to be playing brothers. But yeah, so Donald knew him a little bit, and it was it was an amazing shoot. It was very tough. He likes to get physical, and even looking at it there, you can tell that we're kind of really pushing ourselves or something. And it's just interesting because the camera might only pick up a little bit of you, and you might just be in the background shouting at each other, but actually it needs to feel real. The frame needs to be full of life, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I had talked to Darren, and I don't know I think maybe Darren saw one of the shorts, Brian. I think maybe that's how it happened. I'm trying to remember. But yeah, we both kind of had to talk to him to get the part, and I remember reading the script and it just being like having to put it down every couple minutes to walk around the room to almost get breathing space from it. It was so intense, the script. And then as you heard the cast that was involved already, Jennifer, Javier, and like Ed Harris and Michelle, like all these incredible people. It was like being in the room. So they did rehearsals and myself, like theater rehearsals almost. And myself and Brian sat at this table with just some of the best actors in the world, and it kind of coming up to our place. You know, that kind of weird heart-stoppy feeling you get. It was just, I remember being so excited. And then the two of us could go back to the hotel and talk things through together. It was genuinely amazing. Amazing. I loved it.
Did you have to coordinate that fight scene, or did you tap back into your teenage selves?
Brian had to hold back. Brian is so much stronger. Like Brian, like if that was a real fight, it would be over so quickly, and the camera wouldn't catch any of it. The camera would just pan over, and I'd be lying dead on the floor. Brian's much. Yeah. You just miss it. So I think that was probably a kind of an exercise in me going as hard as I could, and Brian taking his foot off the gas a little bit, just to let it play out for a while. But yeah, we had a great stunt coordinator. And I think the fact that we were brothers as well helped in terms of knowing each other and knowing where the limits are quickly. Right, Brian?
Yeah, I think we made a decision. Like even looking at there, I just remember you coming in like a wild bull. It was kind of amazing. And we both just said before, we said let's just kind of go for it within the parameters of it. But let's push each other and let's make it physical and enjoy it. You know. So I think that energy was really important.
But you guys weren't sort of like, you were always Dad's favorite. Nothing like that.
They had to cut out lots of shots of both me and Brian screaming that at the other person. Yeah, like we kept on ad-libbing that specific line at each
Darren
other.
Would say.
Yeah. You were always Brendan's favourite, we would shout, and he would say, this doesn't work in the movie.
We're still couch surfing with the Gleeson brothers, Domhnall and Brian. Let's see what's next.
You know, it's a pity. I was looking forward to killing you.
So, Brian, you joined Peaky Blinders in the 5th season, and this fan base is very rabid. Did it feel a little intimidating joining an already established series?
I was nervous about working with Killian. I think he's amazing, and so I was nervous, but there was an Irish director, a guy called Anthony Byrne, and he had actually directed a couple of seasons of Love Hate, which we were just watching earlier. So he kind of remembered me from that and cast me in this. So it's funny how kind of things come back around. So the language is very big and operatic and fun, and you kind of just have to go for it. I remember at one point walking up this hill, and I was worrying about the accent and doing all this, and the directors had to remind me just to put my shoulders back and give a big manic smile. He's like, this is the show we're in, and it has to be that kind of almost vaudeville sort of bigness. So I was glad he reminded me of that. I was very thankful. So I think it's one of those shows you just have to go for it. It's big emotions and everything else. So once you realise that, then you're away. Really, you just kind of have to enjoy it then.
But it's not over the top, right? I mean, it's not like that scene with you and Killian's incredible. The two of you just going at it.
Killian brings it all in, doesn't he? But I think maybe for the guys coming in, they have to give it a bit of. But maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just me who's over the top.
No, it was perfect. It was perfect. Sorry, I think Lola's about to change the channel. Sorry, Lola.
No. I just love watching this brotherly love. I mean, we hear so much about brothers hating each other, but it's so nice to see how supportive you all are of one another.
We got it all out on Mother. We got it all out on not on the film Mother. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you broke his ribs. The film. Oh.
The film Mother, not Mary. Mary's lovely.
Mary did a damn good job.
Yes, she did.
Shout out to Mary. All right. Up next.
You're not sorry. You're gonna let something off your chest. Maybe now's not the worst time.
So, Domhnall, I mean, it's the Star Wars franchise. I mean, this must have been a dream come true.
Yeah, you gotta go for it. Sometimes you just gotta go for it. It was like, I remember saying, how the hell do I say I'm the spy? And JJ was like, you just gotta own it. It's similar to you and Anthony Brian. He was just like, you gotta own it. So I was like, okay, let's go for it.
Your character, General Hux, takes a turn in this movie. Were you aware of his full arc when you signed on?
No, I was not. We had talked a little bit about it, but I think JJ was keen that whoever took over the second film have room to do what they wanted with the second film. And then when he made the decision to come back to the third film, obviously the same was true. I don't think Ryan had any preconceived notions about exactly where it needed to go. It was just leaving room for it to go somewhere interesting, which I think is what JJ did.
All right, let's keep surfing.
What are the things that you like about Mary?
Well, she cooks a mean chili.
What made you both want to dive into
right.
the comedy lane at this point in your careers?
It's funny seeing the other shows like Star Wars and everything, and then just we're in.
That's the point of a wide-ranging career.
I think that was part of it, actually, right, Brian? Like, I think part of it was wanting to do something slightly new.
I was interested in the creative choice that you made because obviously the show centers around two friends, Frank and Doofus, but why did you all decide to not make them brothers?
I'm glad you don't think that we're brothers. I think some people who've seen it almost think that we are brothers in it because we never explicitly say these two men are not brothers. But it always felt like Frank needed to be on his own, didn't it, Brian? Like in the world. And his relationship with his mother is a very important aspect of the show. And I think if there'd been another brother there, it would have complicated that. I think the main characters, the main relationships in the show are Frank with his mother, Frank with his ex-girlfriend, and Frank with my character. And so we wanted to keep them separate in a way, but also be able to overlap when you want. So I think that's why, Brian, right?
Yeah. I think at a couple, in a couple of stages we were thinking about, could we meet more of Doofus's family, but we I was like, how do you even begin to address that? So we maybe, maybe they are actually brothers, and Doofus moved out at a very young age.
Frank forced Doofus out into the cold. Yeah. That's series 2 sorted. Great.
I was going to say, that's season 2 right there. You got the backstory. Perfect. You guys, thank you so much for surfing by. Brian and Domhnall, you guys have been fantastic. Frank of Ireland is streaming on Amazon Prime now. Check it out. And see you next time on Couchsurfing. Bye.